Hello, Last Day on Earth community. This is Chris Kobe. Like I had promised, this is the follow-up video to the other video I made with that had 80% of the mods for the guns. This one has the bow and all the melee weapons, which I would highly advise starting with the melee weapons, not necessarily the bow. I think all the upgrades for that are terrible, as you will shortly see that I will outline why they're terrible. But the melee weapons, since they're actually rather easily craftable, it might be worth that investment to go first because the guns you can only really get by getting lucky in the bunker or finding them out on a red zone or wherever you get them. Every once in a while you trade it with the trader, but you have spend a whole lot of energy and all that. But these you can always craft with really easy materials, especially the spear. What it really needs to make one single spear is 3 wood. So getting these, since the requirements for these require these, you'll meet this requirement fairly easy. All right, for the further ado, we'll get into it. I'm gonna zip through the bow ones because I don't want to spend too much time on them. I think they're all really bad because rather than spending, um, you know, 36 oak plank and um, 12 adhesive and even 36 duct tape and this, like, it's just not worth it to get just 1+ in critical damage. If they would have made it so that you could shoot a little bit faster, that would have been nice, but there's not really an upgrade, as you guys will see. Even steel aluminum plates for a better chance of getting critical hit. Nope. 12, yeah, not going that. Better critical or more critical damage and another critical chance. 40 of those, 12 of those, 18 of those, 12 of factory parts, 12, 18 glue, 12 steel plates. I know what they're called, but just like I said, zipping through these. 8 carbon composites, you can definitely use these, especially because they're really, really rare. And even the steel plates, better use for that. Definitely not worth just getting these on the bow. Um, Critical damage, not the materials aren't terrible for this, but 16 adhesive, you can use 16 adhesive a lot better somewhere else. A lot better critical damage if you end up landing one, but knowing critical chance for 10 factory parts. 12 adhesive, yeah, no thanks. I'll spend that somewhere else. Um, I'm not even mention the name. Like I said, it's not worth it because I'm just zipping through these. A lot more damage again. If they made a mod, hopefully this one will be it. But currently, mod with active skills are not available. At least not to my knowledge, because I spot 30 different packages. So that's like extremely rare in each one of them, and I just kept getting a bunch of repeats because I never got one a mod with an active skill that I know of. So if this makes it somehow you shoot faster, then maybe, yeah. But you can't choose both of these, and that would be the crappy part. Maybe active skill. The active skill is so that you can load another bow quicker. Then that might be interesting. But until these become active or somebody gets them, then we will actually know if that would be decent. But just from how expensive this one is, I mean, the bow is fairly cheap to craft, but I would, this one's just going to be even more expensive than this. I would not spend 15 parts for that. I would rather just go with melee weapons or the zip gun. I mean, that's not easy to craft either, but at least when you find zip guns now in the wild, it will become a lot more useful, with a couple upgrades. The one that I was saying is this one. That might be interesting just because it makes it shoot a whole lot faster. Might actually be like the Glock 18 now. Finishing these off, critical damage, um, critical chance, and you guys can pause this if you want to, actually take note of the material so you can start saving up for this. But I'm just zipping through these. A lot more critical damage range, which is okay. A lot more critical damage, +3 on that one. A little bit more range, a lot more durability, but it's not worth it to have durability in a weapon that kind of sucks. Yep, moving on. The spear. I wanted. Let me start off with the first ones. A little bit more damage. That's kind of cool. It does 10 damage as is for a fairly cheap gun or fairly cheap weapon to go out farming. You can take this to like a green zone and you would be okay with it. I mean, some green zones give you bats that are needed for some of the upgrades, so it's not the worst. It's not as useless to go mine a green zone now because AIs drop bats as well. Sometimes you find them in the crates or bags that are in those areas. So and then you still find adhesive pretty often there too. And it's the lowest energy required to go to the green zone compared to like a red zone. So it may not be the worst thing to upgrade the spears. Yeah, you get 1 damage for the spiked pointer, and those are the materials needed for that. Not terrible. The most expensive one is the adhesive. It's just 12. Pointer. Fortunately, I don't have one, but I'm gonna think it's somewhere in between these. What it, the materials that are required, or I mean, that looks like a steel tip. That would be probably interesting. We'll see what it actually is. A lot more damage, critical chance, range, less stability. You actually hit pretty fast with this, so getting that much reduced speed is not bad. Durability, you really don't care about the durability of this weapon, even at, I mean, as long as you're not getting just a few hits from it, because it's really, really cheap to craft these. 3 wood, and that's it. The one that I'm working on, compared to this one, is this. You do get a lot more damage. So once I'm done completing this one, I will post it somewhere how much more, or probably even just update this video with that information, how much damage is actually increased. But 2+signs, that's promising. Get a little bit increased range too. There is another upgrade I think that does increases your damage, so we'll see with that. And just these, not terrible either. Not anything too expensive. Like this require 30 logs. Ropes you find all the time. Screws are not that bad. Duct tapes, yeah, not the easiest but not the hardest. That's like a mid-grade, mid-level material. Adhesive, yeah, that's starting to get a little expensive. And steel plate, but for all these positive stats with no negatives, I thought it was worth it. Sharpened metal, critical damage, not a fan of it, especially for these materials. 12, 36 of that. Yeah, no, moving on. Bone sidearm. I don't think this one's worth it because it's only damage that it's increased and critical chance. I mean, if it's different locations, well, I don't even have one equipped right now. But the attachments where you can put these on, like say you can put both of these on, these and this, then it might be worth it to get that much increased damage. Yeah, when you get the big bones, cool, you can use it on this. I don't think there's too many weapons that require the big bones, so if there isn't, it might be worth investing. Yeah, the 20 glues is a little expensive, but the rest are fairly easy. Sidearm with barbed wire, just critical damage, critical chance. Again, I wouldn't do that, although all these are fairly expensive and just not my cup of tea. A rare mod, I really want to see what this one. I opened up, like I said, 30 packages and I did not get this one. I was very, very disappointed that I didn't get it. Even all the extra ones that I went to trade in at the bunker, didn't get it even after those. So hopefully I get lucky and I find that somewhere. I really want that one just to see what the stats for it are. It's probably going to increase regular damage. And not have any negatives, so that would be really, really nice. Durability here, the most expensive thing is the adhesive. Not terrible either. 12 is not bad. But we go on to the next one. Even more durability. The most expensive again is the adhesive. Not terrible. I went with this one for the critical chance. You're like, oh, you're talking that you really don't care about critical chance and all this and that. But if you compare these two, they're just about the same amount of materials needed. So it's just like, yeah. Definitely go with that one. Why not? It's like 10 more rope, literally. If you keep like scrolling back and forth, look at 36 duct tape, 36 duct tape, exactly the same. 16 adhesive, 16 adhesive. 40 thick cloth, 40 thick cloth. 50 rope, 60 rope. For this one, 3 spears, 3 spears. So for an extra 10 rope, which is extremely easy to get because you get them all the time when you kill a zombie, and even the bigger zombies give you like 5 in one drop. Yeah, why not? This one's a mod with an active skill that's not out yet, so can't really commentate on that one. Moving on to the bat. I had to take a little bit of a water break. There's my voice starting to crack a little bit from me explaining all this stuff. You can't craft a bat. That's kind of one of our pet peeves in the community, that Kafir keeps preaching that they want to make the game, as realistic as possible. Why wouldn't we be able to make a bat? Like, it's so easy. Do you need the special machinery to make like a bat? I mean, you would kind of need special machinery to make all these, but you can craft, with the machete and stuff. Why can't we make a bat? Anyway, we digress. Bats with bolts. I don't think this upgrade is worth it because the bat itself does 20 damage, which is nice because the toxic spitters have 80 HP, and if you sneak up on one, even fast biters, have 80 HP. If you sneak up one, you do 60 damage, and then you finish it off with another 20. So getting damage increased is, it's not gonna make you, kill any other zombies with one less hit or any quicker. If anything, it's gonna reduce your speed. So if Toxic Spitter is charging at you and you don't get to do the sneak attack, taking a whole lot less, might allow for it to speed on you. So just an upgrade, not worth it in my opinion. Bats with nails, plus damage, plus critical damage. That might be nice. There's no downgrade to it, but there might be other options, because finding 16 adhesive is not the easiest, and 4 hammers, there's better uses for hammers in my opinion. A lot more damage. Lucille Bat, kind of like a reference to The Walking Dead. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for a second. A lot less speed. I don't think it's worth it in my opinion, especially for these materials, but that's just my opinion. Mod with active skill, like I said, those aren't available. Duct tape grip, not too expensive. 16 duct tape, a little bit more durability. Leather grip, a little bit better, just requires more. 16 is still the most expensive thing for that. And the heavy bat, a lot more durability, which I really like, obviously, because bats are a pretty decent weapon, even though we can't craft them, and only a little bit less speed, not a lot. It's not -2 or -3 actually, like it is up here. It's only -1. It's not gonna kill you. I think, at least for the upgrade, it's worth it in my opinion. And the materials are fairly cheap. The most expensive is the adhesive. I need 1 bat. Yeah, hopefully I find that soon. I didn't go with the defensive grip because of the 8 factory parts. Just to get a little bit better critical damage, is just not worth it. Especially when we can't get the active mod skill. Yeah, sure, this increases a chance to get a critical hit, but like I said, to me it's not worth it when the speed is being reduced that much. So combining these two to get better critical damage, and you get the better critical chance, you combine those, and that's a lot less speed. Yeah, no, thank you. I'll just go bypass that critical damage, especially like I said, again, those factory parts are really expensive. That's it for the bat. Now the makeshift bat is actually one that we can craft. Go through these really quick. You used to be able to craft this with the nails. I highly doubt that 1+ damage is gonna get you all the way up to 22. I think it does 14 or 16 damage as is. So, which is huge, because without a damage boost to go up all the way up to 22, and I'm not saying it's gonna go up to 22. Hopefully somebody researches that, or eventually when I get to it, I will let you guys know how much it increases it. But this used to do 22 when you were able to craft this, and it was really nice because with 1 sneak attack you would do 66, which would then leave 14 damage. And obviously 22 is a lot more than 14. So with 1 sneak attack and 1 regular attack, you could kill zombies that were at 80 health, which was really crucial. Or you just 4-shot a zombie, but it has really good attack speed. So you would it was just a great weapon. It was my favorite weapon to craft. Unfortunately, they removed that. I might just go for that upgrade for this damage, just to see if it gives me even 20. I would be happy even if it could just give me 20, because then, again, it's just the 4 hits on those 80 HP zombies. Plank with barbed wire. Damage and extra critical damage and chance. Not a huge fan of that, especially for the materials. It's a few more materials compared to that. I would just go with the regular one. Reinforced plank. Plus damage, plus durability, minus speed. Not a fan of it. Like I said, I like the attack speed. I like the damage that I did before. If it gets it up to 20, I don't think it's worth it. I would go with the most basic one. That would just be me, just because the materials required for this are quite a bit more. Again, another upgrade with mod with active skill. Don't have that at the handle. I'm guessing it's just going to be 1 durability, less materials. So even though we don't have that one, we can kind of like imagine what it's going to be like. Plus 2 durability. I would probably go with this one, just because the negative stats, like I said, I really liked just the attack speed that the Makeshift Bat or the Bat with Nails before had. So I would not take the negative hit on the speed, especially when you could save yourself some materials to just do this one. The 8 wrenches. you guys may have piled up, so it may not be that much more. But I personally would not take the stat drop on the attack speed. That's just my opinion. Moving on to the machete. Bill Hook Blade, plus damage, plus critical chance, just the chance, not the damage. Well, I think increasing the chance is better than regular damage in general, just because, um, you know, if you get plus critical damage, it's the chances of getting it are not higher. So I would rather get a higher chance of getting a critical hit because then it's just naturally more damage because you're getting it more often, right? That's just my opinion. Again, not something I would go with all these negative stats, so a lot less durability in that. There are definitely better upgrades, as you guys soon will see. The Kirkry Blade, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, you guys can make fun of me for not pronouncing it right. That's okay with me. Plus critical damage, plus speed, minus damage, minus range. Don't like any one of those. These stats, you know, the attack speed is nice, but it's not crucial. I mean, the machete is already pretty nice weapon because with 3 hits you get 90 and you kill those 80 HP zombies. This probably got to be a better upgrade than that. Plus damage, plus critical damage, and plus speed. This might be a really nice upgrade, you know, compared to these two because of the negative stats the first two provide. Especially if this damage increase gets it up to 34. The reason 34 is because some of the toxic spitters at the bunkers get bumped to 100, and you know 34 times 3 is 102, so you would still be able to 3-shot them. Whereas with the regular machete, you don't because you know they get that 10% extra HP, and then you have to spend 1 extra charge on killing it. Not only that, you also get a little bit more attack speed, and if you just happen to get lucky, you get a little bit more critical damage too. Guys, getting hungry. All right, going back to the machete. Bone Crackling Blade. A lot more damage, so if one single damage doesn't get it, hopefully 2 will get it up to the 34. If not, it's not really needed. The minus speed, it's not terrible in the bunker if it does get it to the 34 because you can sneak up to most of those zombies or toxic spitters that have been bumped to 100. Even the range is nice because in the level 3, right after you do the terminal, that opens that little hallway, and it has like 2 toxic spitters right after the vending machine. You barely miss out on being able to reach the zombie that's closest to you, even when you crouch up and sneak up to it. So this range might be just enough for that. A lot more durability is really nice. Not terrible either on how much it costs because 1 steel plate, not bad. 18 adhesive, not bad. Iron plates, that'll take a little bit of craft, but not terrible. Hammer is not, you know, you got to get lucky and find those. But again, not terrible though for the upgrade that it is. Like I said, the negative speed on this one doesn't matter as much when you're taking it to the bunker. If you're just out on zones, mining and stuff like that, then it might be too much of a hit. But let's move on to the next one. Ripper Blade. I would have liked for this one to have, you know, either the increased durability or range or attack speed. You know, but +2 on the chance and damage, that might be okay. I mean, 3 steel plates, 24 of these, 8 of those. It's starting to get a little expensive, especially 12 hammers. That's a little bit too much, and then be able to craft 5 machetes. For these stats, personally, I wouldn't do it because I'm not a fan of the critical damage unless there's, you know, another mod that increases that, but we will see. Mod with active skill, those aren't available. This is just 1 durability, basic for the stats, not too much to analyze there. Just you know, if it's worth it for you to spend. The plastics are not that bad, you know, rubber parts, 18 glue, you know, only 3 of those, not terrible either. A little bit more durability, you know, unless I end up getting this, and this hopefully does a little bit extra damage, I most likely will end up going for this, but I'll hold off before I even start. There's plenty of more upgrades that I personally would do before I would, you know, go into the carbon handle. Unfortunately, I didn't get lucky and get this one here, but not too expensive. 2 carbon composites is not terrible. You know, 20 glue, not the worst either. Don't have that one, obviously, I already mentioned that. Plus damage and plus durability. This might be pretty nice if, depending on how much the damage is increased. I mean, you know, even if we get one of these, you know, just this one, you know, the damage for this one alone between and that one, that might get you to the 34 that I was talking about before to be able to reach those 100 zombies. But we'll see. Even hopefully, um, is there one that, yeah, like say this one gives you an extra 2 more damage like this one, then heck yeah, we would want to go for either one of these to hopefully then get it all the way up to 40, and then being able to two-shot zombies out in the wild. The 80 HP damage, but until we know what this one is, then we won't really know for sure. This is probably the Cleaver now. Moving on to that one. It's probably going to be my best or favorite upgrade or upgraded weapon, as you guys will soon see why. I can just give you a sneak peek. I'm heavily working on getting the upgrades for these two. That's why I wanted to make this video right away, because I'm only 6 hammers away from completing that one, and I still want to show you guys the receipts that are required to complete these upgrades. Let's go right down to it. Critical damage, speed is okay. Regular damage, it's not a hard hitting weapon as it is, but its speed is pretty fast, and having its speed increased even more is not terrible. I went with this one, as you guys will surely see, because it all has all positives. So take that for what you will. If you don't have this one, you guys, I do have all the attachments besides this one, which is a common handle. You will see it's between this. This one's just overall better, but you guys will surely see that which one is better, or you can make that assessment. If you get one of these and you truly want to go for this, because it's not expensive to craft the Cleaver either. We can go here and see how much it costs to craft that. 5 iron bar, 5 leather, and 4 pine plank. That's not terrible. Compared to the Makeshift Bat. Makeshift Bat is really, really cheap, but we'll have to see how much the upgrades for that ended up giving, and if it's going to be worth it to upgrade the Makeshift Bat or end up going with the Cleaver. Going on to the sickle here, plus damage, which is nice because, like I said, it's not a weapon that does a whole bunch of damage. Critical chance is pretty nice. Like I said, I would rather take chance over anything else. It's already a fast attacking speed, so just having more speed is fairly nice in itself. The range, it's a melee weapon. I don't know how you get negative range on that. Like, you really have to be up on them. I'm not sure why that's even there. Slicer, a lot more damage, which would probably nice, on this weapon, because like I said, it's not heavy hitting as it is. I think it does like 14 damage or 16, so it's not a lot. So to get a lot of damage increase in that would be nice. Durability, tongue tied there, is really nice too. It's not terribly expensive either. 2 steel plates, 24 adhesive. That's the worst. 12 wrenches, like I said. You probably had wrenches stacked up where we can do that. Moving on to the one that I'm working on, as you guys can see. A lot more damage, or +2. We'll see. Once I complete this, I'll put it in the notes too, how much damage increase you end up getting for this one. More durability, more critical chance, more critical damage, more speed. So obviously no negatives, all these positives, and again, not terribly bad. Like 18 adhesive, that's not too bad. Aluminum plates, finally we have some better uses for aluminum plates rather than just the level 4 walls that are super hard to get. I would rather get the upgrades for this first before I get level 4 walls, just because it takes so much to just close one little part of level 4 walls, that this will probably even help you in the long run make up for that, to like save resources, or make the resources you're spending a lot more effective. Going on to the handles now. One durability, sorry about that. One durability, not too expensive. You go on to the next one, an extra durability, not terribly expensive either. 24 adhesive, plastics aren't that hard. Fortunately, I don't have this one, but now we go these, and when you add these two combined, it's gonna have +3 damage, +3 durability, +4 critical damage, +6 critical chance, and +2 speed. This weapon is going to be nasty with these 2 upgrades. I hope you guys get lucky and really get them. And even then, like, crafting these is not terribly expensive. Rope, one of the easiest materials to find. Tape, not terribly bad. Crafting 5 cleavers, not that expensive. Rubber parts, again, you just have to invest into them. Carbon composite is 4. This is the rarest material, but for all these positive stats combined, when you combine it with this one, I would say so worth it. All right, like I said, I think this is gonna be my favorite weapon, especially since I got these 2 upgrades, and in my opinion, they're not terribly expensive to craft. I will let you guys know what's all the stats I end up getting from those upgrades and how much I end up liking them, and if it's going to be worth it for you guys to hold out until you get these mod upgrades, or if it's okay to just get these, the durability, or just even a little bit of damage from these might be worth it as well. I wouldn't do this one, the negative speed. This is my opinion. If you get the sickle, that would be okay. And just even get more durability. Like I said, these aren't terribly expensive. 24 adhesive is the most expensive plastics. You guys probably have a lot of spare of those. But anyway, moving on to the metal pipe. Hey, they removed this, but now they put it in as an attachment. That's okay with me because we really didn't have that much use for empty cans. Like I said, for once wasn't piling them up because there was no use for them. Hammers are kind of expensive to get. Adhesives are not. The thing about it though, Star Snipe once said that he hated this weapon because it missed out by 2 damage on being able to kill all those 80 HP zombies. And with this upgrade, you get a little bit more damage. So even one more damage is going to get you to that 80 threshold, which is not going to be the worst. Critical damage, like I said, not a fan of it. Losing a lot less durability. There's handles that will increase that, so it will compensate for that. So it might be an upgrade worth getting. We'll go on to the rest of these, see what it's worth. Had to get a water break in there. This is a lot more damage. Well, I think 1 damage in itself is going to be enough. You don't really need to go for the extra one. So but it's less durability, a little bit more range, which is nice if you'd be able to hit the bloaters in the zombie in the bunker. So spending the extra materials to get these. I only started upgraded because the Troxel blade had tons and tons of these, as we all do, because we're waiting for for that van that has these. That requires these, so might as well spend them. Why not? Just storing them up there. I mean, you can throw them in the recycler, but right now with the guns releasing the blueprints or giving you a chance to get a blueprint, we're obviously all recycling our guns. The big one bone. It'll be interesting to see how much damage is increased with these. With these 3 pluses, and the materials aren't terribly expensive. 3 of those. 30 is kind of a lot. 80 is getting kind of be up there. 10 of these, you start getting really expensive. If you're just finding them and saving them that way, then rather than crafting them all the time, that might not be the worst. And still 60 rubber parts. It's kind of expensive. I mean, you do get a lot for it, but that a lot less durability. I don't know if it's worth it. You guys can make that decision on your own. I would go with this one. I would personally probably going to go with this one alone, just for that. And as far as the tips go for the heads, because like I said, it does, I think 26 damage. 26 times 3 is 78, just too short of that 80 to be able to kill those. So to get even 1 more damage, you'll definitely be going past that, and you'll definitely get 1 damage just even with 1 upgrade. Gotta give my guy a lot more. We're almost done here, guy. You won't have to keep suffering as much. That's the head that I'm gonna go with, just because it won't be even as expensive, to get the big bones from the bosses. 40 iron plates, not terrible. 30 bolts, not terrible either. It's even a lot less. It's not 10 metal pipes. This is only 3 metal pipes. 10 wrenches. I would gladly take 10 wrenches over 80 duct tape. There's not many other uses for wrenches, but there's a whole lot more uses for duct tape. So now all of a sudden, duct tape's values went up, even more. And 36 rubber parts compared to 60. Yes, please. And rather than losing a lot of durability, who cares about the critical damage and chance? I'm not like a big fan of that. It was whatever. I would rather get that little extra threshold that I need to hit those zombies. Get that 80 health, and obviously get more durability is a huge plus. Going on to the handles, which is increased durability. Really, really nice. The reason I didn't start with this one is I started with this one because this in itself gives you the plus damage. This one's standard. You guys can just look at the materials, not terribly expensive. You get that little extra damage, so you probably won't even need to craft this, but depending on how much damage this gives you, if this little extra damage lets you Um, Bumps it up to like 25, a little bit more even then, to like 30 or 34. Then it might be worth it. You know, two pluses better than one. But I would hold off on that. I would rather, you know, spend the glue and wrenches somewhere else before I went and did both of these upgrades. That's just my opinion. Durability, you know, that's there. Skull Crusher. Sorry if this video is getting lengthy, but as you guys can tell, there's a lot more interesting stats and melee weapons than there are guns. I will try to rush this through as much as you can. Um, ar- Armature head. Durability. The Skull Crusher already does, I think, 45 damage. So 45 times 2 is 90. You still get those 80 damage. You know, just having more durability is obviously better. It's not too expensive. The most expensive thing uh, is the 18 adhesive. 3 Skull Crush is not terrible. Lighthead. I would certainly like this speed. I don't think the damage decrease is going to make you miss any thresholds. Like I said, it does 45. Even if it goes down to 40, you still get them, but you're doing it a whole lot quicker. Would I take the negative durability hit? Probably not. This is what's kind of going to deter me from doing this upgrade. If it was only minus 1 durability, then yeah, it'll be okay. Just for the plus 2 speed, killing zombies a little bit quicker, oh well either. I mean, you already kill them in 2 hits with this weapon, so again, not the best upgrade, in my opinion. Heavy head. A lot less speed. It's already a slow weapon. You really don't care about losing all that much speed. A little bit more damage and a little bit more durability for these materials. I think it's definitely worth it because, again, we finally get a little bit better use of aluminum plates. Iron plates are not terrible. 50, yeah, it's a little bit, but, you know, take it for what you will. 40 bolts, 10 wrenches. Oh well. Steel head. 2 pluses. A little bit more durability, so obviously a better upgrade because then it's only 1 less speed, so you get 1 extra plus and only 1 negative speed. Now the thing you have to compare here are the materials needed for this. 6 factory parts. This depending on how much this damage increase for this, I mean, if it bumps you up to 50, which is very possible, it might be okay because then you're like, if you sneak up to a bloater, which have 250 HP, you're killing it with 3 hits. Because with, you know, the sneak attack, it does 100. It would do 150 plus. You know, if it doesn't land right on 50, whatever it is, 51 or 52, and then just 2 extra hits will kill it. Even though the speed's a little bit less, you kite it out. I kite it out already as it is. Like I hit them and then I run away once and then, you know, keep hitting them and stuff. But I think it saves you 1 hit. Or a couple hits if it would go up to 50. So this would definitely be an investment worth making. We'll compare, let's see, to the big BFH. I'm not going to swear to keep this PG, but you know what BF stands for. Head, H, you know. Damage is really nice. Critical chance is nice. A lot, or 1 extra durability, but then you also get these stats increased. But then you have to compare, you know, the stats that you're getting. Yeah, you know, an extra 4 factory parts might be worth it because in the long run they kind of end up paying out, right? It's only 1 negative speed with both of them, but you get the extra durability. Again, it's the same amount of damage that you get increased, but then you get a chance to, you know, be landing critical hits a little bit more and doing a little bit more damage. Like I said, I'm not a fan of those, but if we're talking about investing for the long run, yeah, this one would be better. But if you get this one and you don't get this one, then this one's certainly still worth the investment just because of the difference in materials too. You know, you have to get 2 extra skull crushers for that one, 4 extra hammers, as you see, how, you know, how the stats kind of keep increasing. You know, steel plates for that one's only 2. This one's 4. The glue, this one's 24. This one's 32. So 8 more glue too. You know, 60 only of these. What's the ones that, you know, 10 aluminum plate. This might be easier to get the aluminum plate because, you know, with this we can make nails and we use nails and stuff for a lot more. This is an active skill, don't have that, but that's interesting. You know, to see the gas tank being used for something else for all those people that have extra gas tanks like myself. Here's just the handles, which can increase durability. I'll zoom through these just to save time. You guys see there, you know, the oak plank. You know, it's a bit of expensive, but anyway, whatever. And extra durability. This one starts being iron, so it needs iron, plates. 40 glue for that one. That one's expensive. Holy Jesus. Compared to 16 and only one steel plate, I would really take, 4 factory parts, but for that much durability on this weapon, yes, please. Now, the carbon handle, again, 4 carbon composites, 4 double the factory parts. If you end up going for this one, if you get this one and you end up going for it, then sure, investing into these because you're getting, the critical chance and damage from both of those, and the extra. This one doesn't have the difference between these two in stats are obviously just the critical damage and chance, but then the materials are required. Double the factory parts and 4 carbon composites can be quite expensive, but might be worth it with the BFH. All right. Last but not least, the saw blade mace, however you pronounce that. English is not my first language. Spanish is. Anyway, like I said, you guys can poke fun at me for that, but let's go through it. To save us some time that I actually don't have these 2 common ones. I think these are even rare. And funny that I got the rares, but I didn't get the commons for that one. Oh, well. This is a slow attacking weapon already, so to lose 2 speed is not the worst. It hits for 55, so if it's a percentage of increase, that'll be interesting to see how much it increases. Durability is nice as well. If there's other, upgrades that increase your critical damage and chance, so that might be nice. Finally, we'll be having more use against for the truck's saw blades. Steel plate's not expensive either. 4 factory parts. You're starting getting expensive there. I spend these because obviously, like I said, we have a lot of the truck saw blades. Red paint, we have a whole bunch of those. But 8 factory parts, compared to the stats, you're getting a little bit more damage. Not as much durability. Still the same amount of speed reduction, and the critical chance and stuff are still the same. This is a holder, I think so, a handle? Or still part of the head? Not sure. We'll have to see that. Durability is a little bit more. Speed, like I said, it's already a slow attacking weapon, so just getting an increase for durability is nice. This is a holder. It's not the handle. Oh, this is a part that connects the head. Okay. All right, so you can add these all two together. A little bit more durability, a lot less speed. I would personally not go for that. Oh, and we're hurting again. We're almost done, though. We're almost done, buddy. I would personally just go with this one because it only reduces your speed by that much. To go with the Diablo and one of these that's like 5 negative speed, dude, you're attacking like once every 3 seconds. I already kite with this weapon as is, so it may not be the worst, but it would be interesting to see how much slower you attack. Yeah, this one's a little bit more durability, so a lot less attack speed and only 1 extra durability. I would personally still go for this one, especially for the materials needed. Aluminum plates, would rather spend that over at steel plate. I don't have much use for aluminum plates. Damage, you get more damage. It does 55. It'll be interesting to just go like 60. It's not gonna make you, I think, depending on how much damage you end up doing, a little bit more durability. You already get the durability from that critical damage, but a lot less attack speed. No thanks. Active skill mod, obviously not available, and just the handles standard. The only thing that's different is obviously the materials. Since this is an oak handle, it's going to require oak. Heavy handle, less attack speed, so it might just be better just to get regular durability, so you don't lose any attack speed, but you already attack slow. So I already mentioned that multiple times. Steel handle actually makes you attack quicker, which is pretty nice, and a lot more durability. And the materials, compared to this, I would rather spend 40 plastic because I don't have much use for plastic right now, rather than these iron plates. Like I said, you can make nails, you can craft certain armor and stuff like that. Don't want to do that. I would rather spend plastic. Ergonomic handle. As you guys can see, there is a clear reason why I went with this one. A lot more durability, a lot more speed, And if you end up getting one of the heads that increases critical chance or anything like that, like this one, like Diablo that I already kind of started going for, then why not? Especially when the negative speed on this one is going to be countered a little bit with the plus speed on this one. So, why not have a better chance of getting the critical damage, and a little bit more durability on that one as well. And then a lot more durability on that one, even though you don't get flat damage. Yeah, you do get flat damage on this. The combination of both of these is going to be really, really nice. That about does it for this. Sorry this was a lengthy video, but as you guys see, there's a lot of content to cover. I mean, I could have gone even into grabbing one of these and going these, and then seeing, what attachments for each one of them. But since I don't have them fabricated yet, I think that would have just been a waste of time. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this guys helps you, in case you get one mod over the other one. And, if you like get one of these mods for one of these, and be like, yeah, I really didn't like it, because there's a better mod, so I'm just going to wait for the mod and save those materials rather than wasting them, unless you start really getting an abundance of materials, and sure ahead, go spend them. But at least this gives you an idea on what to start saving up for. Thanks. Have a good one, guys. Bye.